There we go. Yes. Pop one open. I've already got mine
Damn right.
ready to go.
Piss off, Pritchard.
What's going
What's
on,
up?
everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, the first ever live edition of Renegades Reviews. So if it goes a little cluster effy, please forgive me, for I am at the mercy of this man who's running the production this time, Jeff Meacham. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Renegades Reviews.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes.
And today, for the kickoff of Renegades Reviews, I'm going to tackle from 1989.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No Holds Barred.
Oh,
starring Hulk Hogan, Joan Severance, Kurt Fuller, Tiny Lister, Mark Pellegrino, and Bill Henderson, and also featuring in small/cameo roles Jeep Swenson, who would go on to later play Bane in the horrid Batman and Robin movie that nobody talks about, Bill Axe Eady from Demolition, Stan Hansen, Mean Gene Okerlund, Jesse the Body Ventura, Howard Finkel, and referee Joey Morella.
That's a whole lot of dead people in that cast. Throwing it out there. Yikes.
Of course, this is the movie that earned Tiny Lister the nickname Zeus, which he used in his billing for many, many years. If you saw a movie starring him, it would credit him usually as Tiny Zeus Lister.
Yes. Debo's my homie, and I miss Tiny. I do. He was cool people, man.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. For those of you that have seen an episode of Renegades Reviews before, we usually start the show with me going over the synopsis of the film, giving you essentially the Cliff Notes version in case you have never seen it before. And then I will begin to discuss my thoughts on the film, and Jeff will give his 2 cents. You know, considering it's Jeff's birthday, it was only right that I started the month of movies with wrestlers with a Hogan film.
Yes. And as we're live,
there might be some better.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's few worse than this one, so it's definitely a good launching point for the Hogan movies, considering this was the very first starring vehicle for him.
Yes. Yes.
Because of the success of this film, which it did double its money at the box office.
It did, yes.
So it was somewhat of a success. But because of the success of this film, we were able to get Suburban Commando, Mr. Nandy, Thunder in Paradise, Shadow Warriors, and all the other Hogan fare that came afterwards. Now, granted, it was because of his turn in Rocky III that we were able to get this in the first place.
Yes.
But we're not here to talk about Rocky III. We're here to talk about No Holds Barred.
When you said Thunder in Paradise, like it was a good thing we got that. You didn't watch Thunder in Paradise, right?
No, I did not.
Okay. Education in advance.
I'm sure eventually I will. I'm sure eventually I will, because I know they did a couple of made-for-TV movies based off the series.
Yeah,
and I may,
yeah.
I may need to tackle them next year when I do movies for wrestlers.
Right.
But they're not coming up this year.
Got a few comments.
Anyway,
there we go. Michael says happy birthday.
Thank you, Michael.
And Mikey's watching from Tennessee. Our brother's
What
here.
is up, Stat Boy?
Stat Boy be in the house.
Or I should say, howdy, y'all.
Howdy, Stat Boy. What's going down, y'all? And then the Cleaver's here. God bless the Cleaver, man. He said he's going to be here for my show at 4, but here we go, man. He's here with us now. I love it.
What's going on, Colin? So anyways.
Here we go. God help us.
Rip Thomas is the World Wrestling Federation champion, and every time he appears on network television, it just decimates the ratings for the World Television Network. The WTN is the lowest rated network that there is, and Mr. Brell, the network executive, wants to start his own wrestling show to try to compete with the ratings. The day after Rip's most recent title defense, Brell calls a meeting with Rip, trying to get him to be a part of his show and his federation. Of course, this is the era of Hulkamania Hogan. Hogan will not sell out. That wouldn't be for 7 years later.
Well, no, he sells out. He sells out the Garden and the sports arena.
Yes. You know what I mean. Stop trying to undermine me, Meacham. This is my show. So Rip refuses to sell out, and Brell calls him a jockass, which he uses that insult multiple times during the movie, and I laugh every time he says it. It's like, was he intentionally trying to say jockass? Did he flub saying jackass the first time, and they just rolled with it? I'm a little curious about that insult, but in any event, Kurt Fuller delivers it beautifully, and I just chuckle every time because when I see Kurt Fuller, I think of the goon from Wayne's World.
Right?
You know, he was Rob Lowe's henchman, and he was the good one of the duo.
Right?
So I don't take him so seriously as a villain.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. He did a good job in his heel role. I just didn't buy it.
Right.
Anywho, he tries to get some revenge after calling Rip a jockass, but to no avail because Rip is able to fight off Brell's goons. Now, sometime later, Brell and his associates go to a local bar called the No Count Bar, where they stumble onto sort of a fight club, where men see who is the toughest, like a tough man fight competition. While watching this, Brell envisions a show called The Battle of the Tough Guys, where men try to prove who is the toughest of all in order to win a prize. $100,000 on the line. Now, during the premiere episode, an ex-con named Zeus shows up and makes his debut. Zeus is a former protege of Rip's trainer, Charlie, and he manages to win the $100,000 tournament, becoming Brell's prized fighter. Like, this is his guy. Brell sends a spy to infiltrate Rip in his camp, a woman by the name of Samantha N. Moore. Samantha and Moore. Anywho, Samantha attempts to seduce Rip, but it doesn't last. You know, her being there as a villain doesn't last long because his charity and his good nature win her over, just like it won over every Hulkamaniac back in the 80s. Brother!
I know what you're talking about.
As a result of Rip being who Rip is, Samantha confesses her mission to him, and she converts to his team, you know, totally turns babyface. When Brell learns of Samantha's betrayal, though, he vows revenge and sends his minions to kidnap her and rape her. But Rip is able to thwart the attack and throws one of the goons into a tree trunk.
Jesus Christ.
A few days later, when Rip is at a charity event, Brell and Zeus crash the event and challenge Rip to prove his honor by taking on Zeus in an episode of Battle of the Tough Guys. Rip, of course, declines, as he's trying to set a good example for the kids that, you know, you can stand up to a bully, you don't have to play their games, etc.
That's right.
That evening, Rip's brother Randy and his friend Craig scope out Zeus for themselves during an illegal fight at a warehouse. After Zeus is victorious, Brell spots the pair because Randy is wearing a Rip shirt. Brell thinks that he's converting them to Zeus fans. However, Craig, being the idiot best friend, divulges the fact that Randy is Rip's brother, and there's no way that they're now Zeus fans. They're true Ripomaniacs, brother.
Brother.
Well, once Brel hears this information, Zeus attacks the duo. Randy attempts to defend himself, but Zeus is too strong and brutally beats him, which lands him into the hospital. Heartbroken about what has happened to his brother, Rip channels his rage and accepts the challenge to face Zeus. On the evening of the fight, Brel orders Samantha to be kidnapped. He then pays Rip a visit and tries to get Rip to throw the fight, telling him to go down in 10 minutes in order to save Samantha. The fight begins, and Zeus has the upper hand from the get-go, pummeling Rip and even attempting to kill him by running a steel post through his chest.
Jesus Christ.
Samantha is able to sneak out of the room she's being held in, but Brel's goons chase her down. Charlie and Craig come in and defeat the goons, save Samantha, which gives Rip a second wind. You know, he begins to hulk up at this point once he sees that she's safe. As he turns the tide of the fight onto Zeus, the two men destroy the ring.
Yeah.
They then begin to fight up the stands as Brel watches from the control room, shouting orders at Zeus and taunting Rip. Rip is able to defeat Zeus by knocking him off of a catwalk through the ring, which causes him to lose the match, declaring Rip the champion. Brel, frustrated by the turn of events, begins to destroy the electrical equipment in the control room. As Rip begins to go after Brel backs away, and he ends up backing right into the exposed live wires and electrocutes himself to death. With their adversaries defeated, Rip, Randy, Samantha, and the rest of the gang celebrate Rip's victory. Where are you at, Meach?
I'm here.
You're not going to come in? Oh, there we go.
We
we had to get the Hulkamania thing going.
You said Hogan wouldn't sell out, brother, so I'm selling out right now. All right. Okay. So
before we get too deep into this. Okay. I knew going in that this was not excellent acting. This was not one of Hogan's better movies, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, okay. Hogan didn't know best here.
I try to go into these movies with an open mind. As I've said on a couple of the episodes that have already been canned that'll air tomorrow and the following days.
Right.
At their best, these movies that star wrestlers, at least the majority of them, are B-movie popcorn flicks.
Yes.
At their worst, they are D-movies, Mystery Science Theater 3000 style flicks.
Hell yes.
That you get drunk, get stoned to, kick back with your buddies, and just razz on and talk trash the entire movie. Okay? So being that those are basically the two extremes, there's very few that walk the line in the middle. There's very few that are better than the B-movie status.
Right.
So let's keep an open mind as far as that goes as we do discuss this film.
Okay.
All right. Considering it was Hogan's first starring vehicle.
Right.
I didn't think Hulk did horribly with what he was given.
Not at all.
He exuded his Hulkamania charisma.
He did.
Which was the point.
Right.
The movie was successful enough that it led to a real on-screen WWF feud with Zeus coming in.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Professor, but wasn't it Hogan and Beefcake versus Savage and Zeus?
Yes. So we can thank Tony Lister for the elevation of Brutus Beefcake to main event status. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that, brother.
For about 2 matches. And then he went back to the mid-card where he belonged.
Well, no, to be fair, he actually went into a parasite. He got his face destroyed in a parasite accident, so, you know.
But, you know, the movie was successful enough that it carried into a real, for as real as wrestling is, you know, WWF angle.
Right.
Like I said at the beginning of the movie, it did double its budget, so it was successful on some levels.
It did that.
Kurt Fuller, had I not seen Wayne's World and stuff first, and this is my
Right.
first introduction to him, maybe I would be a little bit more impressed at his heel work. But I'm so used to seeing him as a goofball or a babyface type character that trying to see him as the heel just didn't work for me.
Right.
Joan Severance, I thought, did a good job as Samantha.
Oh man, she's smoking hot. Anyway,
Tiny Lister, cannot say enough good things about Tiny. The script may not have been great, but Tiny exuded badassness
Right.
every time he was on the screen.
Every damn time.
And he didn't even have to say a word. I think the only thing he said was his name.
Yes.
So for a man to emote that much badassness and only deliver one line,
right,
says something about his performance and his acting ability as well. And of course, he would go on to be in many a movie after Friday, The Dark Knight. The list goes on and on. Austin Powers and Goldmember.
Yep. Funny story. As much of a Hulkamaniac as I am, I didn't see him in this first. I saw him in Friday first with you guys. I hadn't seen the whole part with you guys.
I think that's the first time I saw him too, was as Debo in Friday.
Right, but I'm saying you guys were Friday fans before I even met y'all. True, what I'm saying is I came into your guys' house 10 years ago, having been a Hulkamaniac for whatever it was, 20 years at the time. I hadn't even seen No Holds Barred. So, I take it back. Dark Knight. I saw him in that first. Dark Knight.
But you probably didn't even realize it was him until you connected the dots.
Right.
Because his role in Dark Knight was so minimal.
Right. I mean, I've seen so many press pictures of Zeus that I knew, but I didn't know. If that makes any sense?
No, I get it. It's like hearing a song but not knowing the band that sings it.
Right.
Not knowing that it's that band until you put the dots together.
Right. Exactly. You bring aha. You have a big aha moment. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So, with an open mind, I was actually able to enjoy No Holds Barred for what it is.
Right. Exactly.
A B movie level, maybe C movie level.
I can't do this shit anymore.
Action popcorn flick.
Right.
Was it gonna be Citizen Kane? No. Was it gonna be The Wrestler?
No.
If you want to compare it to an actual wrestling movie with some serious accolades.
Right, exactly.
No. But let's just be honest. Out of the 4 movies I have viewed so far, this hasn't been the worst one I've seen.
No. And what's really sad, and I'm gonna spoil without spoiling. He watched a Roddy Piper movie this week for this week's shows. And the Piper movie was worse than this crap.
That'll go up on Wednesday. Right.
It wasn't They Live, obviously. Yeah. Oh god, that movie's so bad. Oh my god. I don't know if I can watch the damn review of it just because I know I'm gonna have flashbacks. For Christ. Okay. So first of all, I have to call you out because you totally glazed over the whole Rip tears the goons apart scene with the car. He drags that poor driver out. That guy is soiled through, man. What's that smell? Turkey. And Hulk just totally is like, Dookie. I fell the frick out. I'm on the floor in convulsions. The fact that Hulk Hogan angrily said the word Dookie, and I'm like, shit, I give up. Fuck, I'm done. That's it. I was already gone right there. That was ridiculous. It was so funny.
See, I wanted to try to give No Holds Barred the benefit of the doubt and not leave people with the lasting memory of No Holds Barred equals shit joke.
Yeah, it's just it's just yeah. I mean, that scene is a meme, like because Hulk's got the big angry face and everything. But I didn't know what he said. I forgot. I swear, Jay, I'm like trying not to fall out of my chair watching it this morning. Like, oh my god, dude, oh my god. Yeah, I might glaze over one bit. Joan Severance, like, I did some research of her modeling career and acting. Woo, man, oh man. Like, the minute she walked into the scene, I'm like, oh man, it's no wonder Linda was wondering about cheating all the years. Oh wait, Joan Severance is gorgeous, and I think she still is. I remember I haven't seen her in a while, but man, in the '80s, you'd be hard pressed to find a more like complete model. Like, I mean, perfect face, perfect eyes. Just she's gorgeous. She was perfectly suited for this because you could see her as totally being a hired gun trying to seduce Rip, and then completely fall for it because she's got them doughy eyes on her, so she sees the good. It's like, oh, jeez, it's so cliche, but it works.
It does. It totally works for this type of movie.
Yeah, I had also forgotten that Brell was in Wayne's World until you said it a few minutes ago. I went, oh, that's right. So I was able to go into it, being able to dislike the prick. So there you go. It was good. Mikey, don't remind me on the air. PM me. God damn, with the comments about the audio. Jesus. Every week with you guys. Of course, you know, Zeus is just awesome. You know, he had such a look. He's had a look to him. He had a look his entire career. The freaking, you know, he is the forerunner to the Shawn Michaels googly eye. Like, I think he taught Shawn over the course of his time in wrestling how to do the googly eye. Because, man, woo, Tiny had that going for him the whole time.
You wrong for that, Granddad. You wrong for that.
I don't give a damn. I'm on my network today. It's my birthday. I don't care. So anyway, so he was an amazing, imposing force. I loved Stan Hansen being the drunken, like brawl fighter, because that's really who Stan was. Just saying, like, this is the same guy that when he refused to bring the AWA title back to Vern, he ran it over with his pickup truck and then mailed it back to him. Stan legitimately did that. Just saying. And then I had completely no knowledge that the wrestler facing Rip in the opening scene was Bill Eadie. I had no idea that was him because I've only seen Bill Eadie with the face paint and the spikes as Demolition. Didn't know. So to see that, I was like, whoa. And then once I knew and I saw his face, I'm like, okay, got it. Like like I could not see it now, right?
Yeah, see, so, like yeah. when I was researching this film and looking at the cast list before I even started to watch it,
right,
and see who all else was in it, I saw the name Bill Eadie, and I'm like, this name sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
Why does this name sound familiar to me? Right. And then I hovered over it with the mouse. Boom, picture of him as Axe, and I was like, right. That's why.
Yeah, I mean,
so Bill has... I knew going in that it was Axe.
Okay.
But, you know.
Yeah. Bill has such a distinctive facial structure. Like it doesn't matter if he's got a mask on. Like, you know it's Bill Eadie. Like, he's right there. Kind of rough scene. Like I said, Joey Morella, Howard, Gene Okerlund, all those guys, because, like, they're not here no more. It was like, ooh, right there. And Tiny, of course, is gone too. But, you know, this movie's 32 years old, so, you know, it is what it is, guys. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And again, I'm not trying to be biased Hulkamaniac guy. For what it is, it's fun. And that's the whole thing. Like, Vince and Hulk weren't out to, you know, go win, you know, every Oscar in the category. Like, it wasn't going to happen. And they knew that going in. They were out there to get Hulk showcased into the mainstream, to turn him into, okay, gotta be on cue with me, dipshit, Hollywood Hogan. That's the whole point. Get him into Hollywood, kind of get that, you know, be what The Rock ended up becoming. So that was the goal of this movie and the movies that went beyond. Obviously, Terry Bollea is no Dwayne Johnson, so there you go.
I was going to say, Rock took the blueprint laid down by Piper and Hogan and said, hold my beer.
Right. So apparently, Blueprint is the buzzword for the dads and the Renegade this month on the Jeff Meacham Network and the Casa D18 Studios, because there's Blueprint a lot in the other show we're going to do this Friday. Just heads up. That word.
But it's a good word.
It's a good word.
I like that word.
It's a great word. You don't hear it used enough because people don't use blueprints. They just go on the internet and do DIY stuff instead. Whatever. Lazy bastards. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the casting. Like I said, everybody was cast so well for what they did. I keep thinking I knew the two like suit guys, like the dork guys that got razzed by Stan in the bathroom, but I couldn't tell you where I've seen them. But I know I've seen them, so I didn't have a chance to look them up. But like, they look like they've been in every movie that has like the nerdy guys that are just in suits to sit there and kiss ass. So. It just they were cast very well for what they were. I didn't like the one guy being like really creepy with Joan at the end, where they brought her in. You could watch him appear, and he got the sneer face. I'm like, okay, dude, you look like a serial rapist. You need to stop that. Just turn that face off right now because it's creepy. Stop. It's bad. It's a kids movie. It's like, chill your ass out. Yeah. Jesus. So I forgot what you do ratings wise on your shows.
Out of 5 stars.
Oh, 5 stars. Okay. If we're going to do the Meltzer scale, good Lord. I can't give it more than 2.5. I can't. I mean, I love it myself. Again, I'm a Hulkamaniac and I like Tiny, but it's very cheesy. I mean, like there's 80s cheesy, then there's this. It's very, very corny, as Mikey said earlier in the comment room. Like I said, the whole Dookie scene just set the tone for me. Like, I couldn't come off that high the rest of the movie because it was just so like, oh my God. And just Hulk, Rip, getting the guy with the motorcycle and riding him off into the street. And it's like, dude, it's so funny how my brain works. Like, sometimes I go, okay, like, that's funnier than hell. And then I go, dude, that doesn't age well one bit, man. That does not, because that's vehicular homicide attempt. Like, that's bad. Like, that's really bad. And what he did to that limousine, good grief, man. It's like, just make it easier on yourself. Have Vince get in and blow it up. It takes like half the time. You get those people beat up that way. I enjoyed it, but I can't get more than 2.5 just on sheer movie credibility. So there you go.
That's fair enough, coming from a Hulkamaniac like you. I mean, I'm going to be a little bit more generous to it, but not much more.
Right.
As you said, it was all about getting Hogan and by proxy, the World Wrestling Federation.
Yes, exactly.
Out there more into the mainstream. The very first foray into sports entertainment.
Exactly.
Which, granted, Vince had been calling it that for a minute, but it was the first time it really got elevated to a mainstream level.
Yes. Excuse me.
I mean, with one of its, if not its biggest draw at the helm.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Granted, Princess Bride had come before.
Right.
But as we've talked about before, Andre's role wasn't the star. He was featured heavily.
Right.
But he wasn't the star. Hogan was the star of this.
And when you consider that Andre was going not even half speed as far as his physical health, and he still looked like $1 million in that movie. Can you imagine if they had Andre at full speed, man? Oh my God, that would have been so amazing. But we'll talk about that later in the month, I'm sure. So
definitely. So out of 5 stars, I'm going to give No Holds Barred 3 stars.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Like I said, a little bit more generous.
Right.
But not much. Right. I enjoyed this movie like you did for what it was.
Right.
A cheesy 80s action popcorn flick.
Yes.
That just happened to star the biggest wrestler in the world at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, even,
now,
God bless him,
down south people would argue Flair.
Well, no, it's funny. When they brought everybody together there and they started doing the confidential pieces in the early 2000s, Rick even said himself, like, I can say from a different perspective, he was the biggest star in the world. even Ric Flair can, it's still hard to be humble. He humbled himself and he admitted it.
Yeah.
So
Flair may be able to admit it, but the diehard WCW fans or Crockett fans of that time may argue it. And that's only point I'm trying to make is that those fans may dispute that Hogan was the biggest star in the world at the time.
Right.
But there was no denying Hulkamania. That's why this movie was made in the first place.
Exactly.
What do you guys out there think about No Holds Barred? Those of you that are still watching, give us a comment real quick. Jeff may pop it up onto the screen.
Well, I was waiting to because I didn't want to interrupt your whole flow because I know this is your shtick. So I wanted to make sure. Earlier, Colin said, "I'm always down to burn. Want to watch a flick, dude." Colin, you need to get out here. Sean Waltman, Ron Funches, and even like the other guys that are out here, they do that like when we can get out of COVID land. That is, they do get high and watch wrestling like all the damn time. It's hysterical. Gotta make it happen, brother. Mikey was pointing out that he got the question right against Greg Cherry, impressed Greg about, I forgot what he was talking about, so I'm sorry, Mikey, my bad. No, Mikey, Joan Severance is hot. Like, I watched the movie this morning, I was like, hi. So, yeah, she's hot. Sorry, Mikey. If you played for the Kings, 5 minutes for fighting, okay, I got it with the PA announcer, got it. Okay. And no, Colin, I did not see Friday, any of them, until I moved in with this guy. I hate the damn mirror thing. This guy. I had not seen. Yeah, remember, I am the least likely to get stoned ever.
Friday, you and me both.
So, like, it's and I wasn't a huge fan of Chris Tucker's or Ice Cube or really any of those guys until I saw Rush Hour. So I hadn't seen it. So.
Yeah, I saw Friday in the theaters, and it's been a favorite of mine ever since. But unlike Jeff, I grew up listening to hip hop music,
which I
Ice Cube music,
right?
You know, Johnny Witherspoon, Bernie Mac, Chris Tucker, Nia Long, Regina King, like all those prominent names. And of course, Zeus himself as the heavy Debo.
Yes. So Colin gave it a C+, which is about what you gave it. So there you go. Let's see.
Colin's about on my page.
As is Chris
3.3,
which okay.
Interesting.
And apparently it's Chris's girlfriend's birthday, so happy birthday to your girlfriend, Chris. Very cool. There's a lot of birthdays today in wrestling and in general. I'm going to go over that in the next hour during my show, so it's kind of sad, actually. I know. I'm sorry. Dude.
Colin. Give him a little bit of a break. At least he has now seen them.
And to quote my show that I'm sure don't have the damn rack here. Here's the thing. Aaron and I have compiled a list. There's a list in my Google Drive of stuff I haven't seen. I'm going to be busy for the rest of my freaking life at this point.
I mean, full disclosure, bro, I hadn't seen this start to finish until I watched it to review it.
Right.
And this film's even older than Friday.
Right. And
I've seen some of Hogan's other fare that I'll be covering this month right here on Renegades Reviews. Get that cheap plug in.
Now, see,
but
I mean, I've seen Mr. Nanny a million times, and I love Mr. Nanny. I'm like one of the 3 people that does, and that's fine. That's fine. I accept that. That's fine. Suburban Commando is ridiculously underrated. You've got Hulk, Christopher Lloyd, who hello, Shelley Duvall, also underrated if you don't watch The Shining, and The Undertaker, who really kind of got launched off that movie. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, you have Paul Heyman in his ear, and then Hulk goes, brother. So, Michael gives it 2.5 out of 5, so he's right down the middle, Daddy.
Okay, so he's right there with you.
There you go, brother. And yeah, so I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's It's not my favorite Hulk movie. I'm not even gonna front.
No.
It's not. Honestly, I'm the lamest one because my favorite Hulk movie is Mr. Nanny. I think that movie's adorable. I do. I think it's too cute for school. So.
And my favorite is Suburban Commando.
Right.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the reason it's not Suburban Commando is because I haven't seen it, and like. You know when you get a movie and you just gotta watch it over and over again just because you love it that much? I haven't seen Suburban Commando more than once because I've never owned a copy of it. And as far as No Holds Barred, the reason I have not seen it, okay, here we go. Here's where we get in trouble with the federal government. A friend of ours at Battleground Pro Wrestling burned me a freaking DVD of it because I hadn't seen it. And this is in 2012, 13, something like that. So it had been out for almost 30 years already, and I hadn't seen it yet. So the first time I watched it was on his DVD player at the apartment. And I watched it, I go, did I really push to watch this? Like, why? What do they do? What am I doing? What is
But if I remember correctly, that copy also had the matches afterwards.
Which
as bonus features.
Freaking crime that shit's not on the network. What are you doing, Vince? That's your guy, his bitch, Randy Savage, and Zeus, and Sherry and Liz, and you're not. Why? Come on, Vince.
I don't know, sir.
I mean, we're gonna pick on your ass enough Friday, but let's just get it started right now. Anyway, I still have yet to see the match in the movie. Had not seen that, so need to get on that for myself. But yeah, I'm glad we started with this because it's like you said, it's good popcorn. It's a popcorn movie, a popcorn flick, and it's very much fodder for Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Beavis and Butthead and all. It's just fun to sit down and make fun of this damn thing. And I think even Hulk will say at this point, for real, it's just crazy. So it's anyway. I like it, but I don't love it. And if you end up doing Mr. Nanny or Suburban Commando down the line, I'll definitely check those out because I really want to get a feel for those again.
Oh, definitely. They're both going to be featured this month.
Yeah.
On the Casa D18 Studios channel. On episodes of Renegades Reviews.
Let me see if I've got my handy dandy banner here.
For all of you guys that did not watch the live stream and are going to be watching the replay of this, leave your comments in the comment box below. Let us know what you think about No Holds Barred, what you rate it.
Right.
Your comment just might get highlighted when we do the March edition of Renegade Recap towards the end of the month.
Right. Probably around the same time we did February, the last, 20.
Yeah, so it's usually the last week of the month, somewhere in there, depending on my day off.
Yes,
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me, Jeff.
Yes, of
Once
course.
again, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the fans for joining us today on another installment, brand new, of Renegades Reviews. Exclusively, as always, on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Featuring today prominently here on the Jeff Meacham Network due to it being a Hogan movie and Jeffa's birthday.
And don't forget, coming up, I'm pretty much going to change my shirt and get it going early. Coming up right now on the Jeff Meacham Network will be Talk Wrestling. It's not going to be Talk Wrestling this week because it's my birthday. It's going to be Ask Meach any damn thing. So y'all ask me what you want.
There you go. Make sure you tune in tomorrow.
Yes.
Over on the Casa D18 Studios channel for all new episode of Renegades Reviews when I will be covering from 2015 Stormageddon. Starring John Hennigan, a.k.a. Johnny Nitro, a.k.a. John Morrison, a.k.a. the guy that's too cool for school and has to go slow-mo during his entrance.
A.k.a. Johnny Impact, Johnny Mundo, Johnny...
So make sure you check me out tomorrow, 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern, on the Casa D18 Studios channel, just like I am every day of the week. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us. And until tomorrow, when I cover Stormageddon, I will see you guys next time.
It says joint. Debo's in the movie.